Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tuesday Triggers podcast. Today I have an amazing guest. For those of you that don't know, Xavier Caffrey, he is, I would say, one of the most technically talented operators I've met in this space. If you know about him or if you've ever met him, you would probably know a few things. This is how I would say it. I would say you're ruthlessly efficient and you're really damn good at what you do and you love cats, right? Those are like probably the three things that you would need to know about Xavier when you go into a conversation. There we go, my man. And so you founded Oneaway Group or Oneaway about what, 2-3 years ago now, or how long have you been in?
Yeah, I've been doing this. Thank you for the intro, by the way. Mentioning the cats is always good to hear. That's actually why me and Christian got closer. He told me he has a one-eyed cat, right?
Evie
You
the
like,
One-Eyed Wonder? Yep.
yeah, so I was like, oh man, this is a guy I want to be friends with. But yeah, I've been doing it for 3 years, but I rebranded to Oneaway a year ago. Like the name hasn't been around for 3 years, but the business has been around for around 3 years. Yeah.
Yeah. You are clay expert. You are instantly expert. And what would you say like your biggest proficiencies are as an agency?
I would say like it's the combination of the lead listing and the copywriting. Like I'm just like so big on not overcomplicating things, and my team does the same thing. Like just everyone just there's just so much noise in this space. Everyone's like overcomplicating the process, and for us, I find that we're really good at just building a very niche lead list, writing a really targeted copy, and then that ends up getting results. Like it's really as simple as that. So I think yeah, like simplifying the those two steps, the lead listing and the copy, I think is what makes us quite unique.
So hear me out on this one because I feel like this is already like you know how like the cycle gets like shorter every single time, but like this space is
Yeah.
incredibly cyclical. And my opinion on it is just like anything, the kind of AI first lines, some of these AI pieces, right? Like they're kind of they've just worn themselves out, right? Like saying, "Oh, hey, I see you're like a company that operates like, helps book readers find more books," right? Like that
Mm,
like simple personalization, right? Now everyone sees right through that. Like maybe 2 years ago, people were like, whoa, this person actually spent some time to research me. So I think like a lot of it's actually getting back to brass tacks, which is like the core of just writing a really damn good email and targeting people really well. Sure, the personalizations in Clay, they help and we will all continue to do that. But, some people like, let's say Justin Chi, who is just an absolute killer when it comes to just writing good copy and targeting people well, is now
mm.
seeing a lot more success while a lot of people are like kind of flailing right now a little bit. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, there's this weird. Okay, no, it's not weird, but there is a trend right now of people migrating away from doing outbound as an agency because it's not working. And I feel like for guys like me and Justin, it's like so exciting because I'm like, how are you guys not figuring this out? And if you're not figuring this out, it means less competition for us. It means more money for us, more clients. Like that is good news for me. I think anyone who really knows how to do this when they see those kind of updates from other people is very exciting. And then there's something I think it's very important to differentiate. A lot of people keep saying that you can make these personalization stuff with Clay. But that's actually like Play isn't meant for that. It's just one of the features that they have is that it allows you to, in a very organized spreadsheet, scrape a lot of the data that's available publicly online. And then with that data that you scrape, you can use it inside of an LLM of your choosing, whether that's Claude, GPT, na. And then you can turn it into a personalized line. But that's not like the gist of Clay. Like I can use Clay for a lot of the campaign that I have and not write anything inside of it. That is an option that you can do. And the value of Clay is just the data collection, whether it's for your emails, phone numbers if you're calling, the leads, and the targeted lead list, right? Because you can use the data to filter out which people you want to reach out to. You don't necessarily need to use that data to manipulate it and write like a cheesy one-liner. So that's really important to mention. And I bet the reason why Justin is crushing it is because Justin has the fundamentals right. You know what I mean? Like if you have the fundamentals right, you will crush a cold email campaign with not that much personalization involved in there. So yeah, I have no doubt Justin is absolute killer. Actually, I should reach out to him I see him post a lot in the group chats.
He's super smart, man. He was on Tuesday Triggers a couple weeks ago, and he's is one of my oldest friends in the space. So yeah, I mean, it's
Nice.
fundamentals, man. It's fundamentals, which is what's killing it. You know, again, the amount of people I see trying to overwork things and go crazy in clay, and it's just like, again, the efficacy has gone down significantly. So speaking of which, again, as people are saying, hey, this space is harder, you and I both know the change. Like it's been like this for the last couple months, but I know that you sent me some pictures of you getting like 9% reply rates on your campaigns. So what do you think the trends are going to be for people who are just doing cold email for their business or as a business? Like, what do you think the trends are going to be in the next 6 months that people need to be aware of?
Yeah, I mean, I think whoever is listening to this, first you need to the whole concept of the woman in the red dress. I know it's like a term that's overused, like if you don't know from the movie The Matrix, is the idea that you'll be walking down the streets, you're looking straight ahead, but then you see a woman, an attractive woman in the red dress, and then she catches your attention and you get distracted. Maybe you start, following her because you want to talk to her, and then you forget that you're actually headed to work, you're headed to what is going to bring you happiness and money and joy. And I think the problem right now is there's so many new tools that come up. There's so many. Can I swear on this show? I can say anything,
Yeah,
yeah?
you can say whatever you
There's
want,
so
dog.
much fucking noise in this space. So many fake sales gurus, fake agencies, fake guys that just have some following online that sell you on a dream. They can't even do it themselves. And then you either just starting out or because you just, have an attention disorder, and then you see someone say like, oh man, like he looks like he's doing great. Maybe I should be doing that, even though the path you're on is already good enough. But then you just get distracted and you get tempted. So I would say that trend will never change. That is a human nature. So for the next 6 months, we will continue to see that. I just think that we see that now at a bigger scale because releasing these kind of tools, sharing content has only become easier. You know what I mean? So then it's easier for someone to get baited. That's actually, I think that's the perfect word to describe it, baited by all the other stuff that are out there. So I'd say that's one trend. The other trend we're probably going to see a lot more of it is, what you want to call it, AI SDRs. I think that's going to stick around for at least a year, and I cannot wait for it because all the people are going, all the companies, all the big companies are going to sign up for AI SDRs. I cannot wait to reach out to them to be like, hey, I know you're pissed because I know that's not working for you. Come work with me. This is how much we're going to charge that now. That's going to be a trend. I think the agencies that realize that and are targeting those companies, they're going to make a lot of money because I've been on demo calls with some of these AI SDR companies and they're just so bad. They're literally spray and pray, but more efficient. As in like they can spray and pray more than whatever we used to have before. But it's still trash,
I
like
mean,
I'm
they're
still
bad.
throwing out
They're
trash.
as someone who rev reply is kind of a tool in this space, but like it really is like X-Man, oh, dude, it's just a shiny UI UX on a really, really bad lead gen agency. And that, yeah, that may go out onto the internet and those guys might hit me, but like it's bad, dude. Like I haven't heard anyone come in, and as an agency, you're the same way. I have not heard someone come in
Mm.
and say, oh my God, yeah, I tried this AI SDR and it was like amazing, right?
Dude, it's just it's too complex. Like the problem that to solve to do outbound is too complex. I actually disagree with you. I don't think you're in the same bucket at all because the problem you're solving is way more direct. And like the onboarding, I remember I told you when I went through the Rev Reply onboarding, I was so impressed because it's like it feels like you guys thought of every single little detail there's to think about. And then the results speak for themselves, right? But the outbound, my God, the amount of variables that exist is just too freaking much. Like you need a human on the steering wheel. But again, people are just like this has been happening since like the dawn of time. Like people love being lazy. So it's like if I have a tool out there that costs me like either half or less than a really good agency and it can do all the work for me, take my money, this has to work. So yeah, that trend I see it happening, especially now with like AI agents. Everyone's talking about AI agents. Very few people even know what the fucking AI agent is. A lot of people think that an automation flow is an AI agent. Like, no, it's not. That literally that's not the definition of an AI agent. So I think we'll continue to see that. And I personally can't wait for it. To me, it's like really good news. So I'm really excited to see it. Yeah.
So you talked about like taking your eye off the ball, if you will, and by like people getting distracted by shiny things and like trying every single tool constantly. What do you think are the core tools, like in maybe in your tool belt, that you use, that you're going to use every day and you expect to use every day for the next year to, do your infrastructure, do your sending, do your personalizations, do your verifications? Like, is it a core set?
Instantly in Clay. I don't need anything else. Whatever is inside of Clay, they have their like the Walmart of B2B data providers. I'm gonna stay in there, and then instantly to blast the emails. Like you don't need much more to get results. You can get very like particular, about certain things, but those two that those are the meat of what we do. Like I really can't name any other to the two tools that come to mind are just those two, to be honest.
So yeah, I agree. We're constantly testing different sending platforms, which we spoke about a little bit earlier, but I think that those are really the core. We have a couple other ones for verification. We do use Lead Magic a ton. We used to use Reune, but just some of the basics that kind of everyone already knows about. If you were to break down like the core tenets or principles of finding success in this space, you had talked about like messaging, you talked about deliverability. Like, what would you break that down to if someone were to start tomorrow? Like, what would you tell them to like go get this tool, go do this, and this? I know that's kind of hard on the fly, but what are some of the core things that you'd want someone to know?
Yeah, I would say first start by really asking yourself if whatever problem you're solving is worth continuing to pursue. Like conviction is the ultimate thing like you need to have. Like let's say for me, my business is essentially implementing play tables and outbound systems to help you land more conversations. That is unequivocally going to continue to be a problem worth solving because everyone wants to make more money. So yippee-ki-yay, I'm solving a great problem that will be here for a long, long time. Now, for the clients that I work with, clients you work with, and so on, they probably don't solve that problem, right? I mean, makes sense. Unless you're running outbound for another outbound agency, which I would say that sounds really stinky. Like, why is that happening? But those clients, then I would say like, okay, is your problem like is it real? Is the pain point real? And if it is, great. That's layer one. Okay, layer two. Do you have a good offer? Because I could solve a problem and have a shit offer, right? How do you know if you have a good offer? Talk literally like talk to your peers. Ask ChatGPT. Actually, I did this. Like I've changed my pricing a bunch. I've changed what we do a bunch. I just like yap for fucking like 20 minutes to ChatGPT. And I do this thing where I tell it, I treat this like a Q&A session and help me rationalize if my offers if it's good or not. You'd be surprised, by the way, by how valuable doing that exercise is if you don't have the luxury of talking to another human being whose opinion is worth listening to, right? So, okay, let's say now you know you have a good offer and you have a good problem to solve. Great. Now, how are you communicating that problem, right? Not problem, sorry. How are you communicating that offer? Like, are you using really complicated lingo? Is it really long? No. Because one of my favorite humans to watch listen to is Richard, who his nickname is your physicist's favorite physicist, right? Like he's the greatest teacher of all time. And the reason why he's the greatest teacher is because he can break down things so simply because he understands it so well. So if you're giving a super long explanation of your offer, you don't get it right, restart from step one so you can really figure out how to communicate it. Okay, great. So now let's assume you know how to explain it simply. Now we can get to the lead listing part, which is who are you targeting? If you tell me, oh man, I'm just targeting B2B businesses, then you really go back to step number one. You don't understand your offer, you don't understand the problem. Be more specific, be more niche. Now let's say you understand that. Now we can go and talk about tech stack. Okay. So if you want to build a lead list, depending on the niche that you're in, obviously, but a safe bet is to start with Apollo. Use Apollo as like your starting point because they have such a broad range of people within their database. Another alternative now is also Clay. Clay's LinkedIn search has gotten a lot better, so you can use that. And then after you have the lead list figured out, you need to get to the copywriting. And the copy becomes really easy based on the lead list, right? Which you should have already fundamentally there from step number two, I believe. Yes, from step number two, right? Now that you have all these things together, and I've already alluded to the fact that this will be built on Clay because Clay has the search function, which is great. You want to push everything into an email sequencer. In this case, I'm obviously going to recommend Instantly. I've been using them. I'm an official partner of theirs, all that good stuff. And then you launch campaigns using also their infrastructure. They have a done-for-you service. It is the easiest thing you can do literally a monkey could set it up. You just click on it, smash some buttons on your keyboard, and then somehow you have an infrastructure set up, okay? And then you send the campaigns, you connect instantly to your Slack, and then you connect also Slack to Rev Reply because you want to reply to leads, because if you reply to leads within 5 minutes, I believe, if I remember the Slack correctly, your conversion rate will, conversion rate from lead to meeting booked will go up by almost 300%, which is an insane stat. When I learned it, I had to reach out to Crystal. I was like, bro, please help me. And then you're good to go. It's hard to fail if you do that for a couple of months, to be honest.
Yeah. So the only thing that the hardest thing for me in that is again making your offer sing, right? And I think like that's the thing that you need to be really introspective about along the way is like really making your value prop valuable, right?
So I'll tell you a hack for that. You want to, anyone who will see this, you want to read the book Influence by Dr. Robert Cialdini, who I know everyone right now loves to fanboy over Alex Hormozy. Even Alex Hormozy has said himself that this book is one of his favorite books of all time. I've read it twice. I'm obsessed with that book. I think about the 7 principles of influence all the time. I make a lot of content about it. I have more content coming out about it because you want to write your emails based on those influences, right? So for example, you talk to any lead gen bro or any sales guy, and then, bait him into this. Be like, I should include the social proof on my website, right? And they're like, yeah, bro, you should. It helps conversions. Okay, but why? And then listen to them answer the question. Like, they don't fundamentally understand why. They can't give you an example as to why. And the why, I'll answer it now. It's in the book Principles, is because we behave like we're literally like we are animals at our core. We're like a herd, right? So if one of us goes one place, we're interested, we want to go the other place. And there's by the way, the book is so good because it gives like scientific experiments that explains it. So like my favorite way to explain this concept to people, like why you should have social proof and authority. Those two, I like to put them together. They took these two guys. One guy was wearing a suit and one guy was dressed like me in a fucking crypto t-shirt that literally like it's nothing, And then they took the guy that is dressed like me, and then they put him on a busy street and they told him to cross the red lights. Okay, so like there's a lot of people behind him. They're like, yeah, this is just jaywalk. And when he jaywalked, no one followed him. Okay, like no one, like fuck this guy, right? But when they put the guy in a suit, right, and he said jaywalk, people start to follow him. So this is actually more of an authority. This is more the authority principle, but there's social proof in it because based on his outfit, like he has to like know what he's doing. So then if you put in your social proof, like, yeah, I worked with company 1, 2, and 3, that's what's happening in the monkey brain. Like if you understand these things, it becomes like it's like impossible for you to not include that in the copy or not think like that when you're advising a client on what they should be doing. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, man. Now you gave me another book to read. It's funny. We're actually in talks with the Cialdini Institute, so the company
Hey,
that he runs. We've been talking with them for
hey,
months now. Now I gotta go read the book.
bro, you have to read the book. It's so good. It's so
Nice,
good.
excellent, man. Well, look, I definitely need to go read that. But I appreciate you coming on. I'd love to do another session with you, diving deeper into all of these. Obviously, we have the Tuesday Trigger session coming up. So let's do a deep dive again here soon. I appreciate you as always, man. Always an intelligent conversation, always the intellectual man. So very much appreciated. And thanks, brother.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Take care.